Hello, Nair family. Um, in honor of the anniversary of our dear Mark's passing, I just wanted to share some brief thoughts and memories that I had of him. Today, I am thinking about how loved Mark made me feel, and more than that, how easily and clearly he seemed to love me. He was always genuinely interested in my family life, and remembered every time to ask about my grandmother, which seems small, but showed me that he remembered how important she is to me. Um, Also, there are not a lot, or maybe any, straight adult white men that I would talk to about my love life, but I could with Mark. So, whether or not Jess and I were in the kitchen talking about Anne or Ben, I didn't have to be shy about him overhearing our conversation or even looping him into the conversation and knowing that he had my back and was invested equally regardless, which was huge for me. He just always made me feel like I could be myself around him, and our relationship was just easy and comfortable. I know that Mark, in many ways, was a man's man, Mark Allen Nair, but he also just exuded this feminine energy, um, which I don't know if he would call it that, but it's how I received his love, and yeah, just how easy it was with him always. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking about our dear Mark today, and I wish I could be with you on the anniversary of his passing, but I am sending you all of my hugs and comfort, and I hope these memories help in some small way. Love you guys.
Hi, Nair family, and thanks so much to Kim and Joni for thinking of this really great idea for us to all be able to share some of our favorite memories of Mark. And I just want to first tell you all how privileged I feel to have gotten to know Mark and to experience what I can really only describe as just the most genuinely warm presence whenever I was around him. And so there was a Thanksgiving a few years ago where you all had me up and welcomed me to your California mountain Thanksgiving feast. And I just remember when I first met Mark, I was just like really struck by like how engaged and how thoughtful he was in all of his conversations with me. And like he just had this inexplicable talent of making people feel like they really, really mattered. And I'm just really grateful to have experienced that. And I remember we were all sitting and talking about what we were grateful for at dinner. And it was just a really special moment where I can only describe it as just like the sheer adoration that he had for his families and his close ones. It was just like such a rare and special characteristic and moment. And I just felt really grateful to be a part of that. And I hope you all are just spending the day celebrating his life and just celebrating how wonderful of a human being he was. And I just want you to know that I'm sending all of my love and all of my thoughts your way. Love you guys. Bye.
Hi, Nair family. I am so glad that Kim and Joni reached out and invited me to be a part of this. I've been thinking about Mark a lot as we've been approaching the anniversary, and literally the other day when I was working at one of my jobs, I cashier at a co-op, I was checking out this guy who was kind of like Mark in the way that Kim mentioned, like a man's man, and he was wearing a uh, local fire department t-shirt, and he had a young kid with him, and I was like, it's just sometimes so interesting to me that the universe does that, like sends folks to, like, we're already thinking of something and then sends folks into our life, to remind us even more that that folks never really leave us, right? So when I think about Mark and what he did for me and what he left me with was just this spirit of incredible generosity. Um, and authenticity. I mean, I just think like he was somebody who was unapologetically himself. And as someone who is unapologetically myself, I always really love to see that in folks. I felt that from the moment that I met him. Every time I was in the Nair house, I just felt like he was so genuine and wanted so much to just share whatever he could with us, right? Like make us feel like family, and I absolutely did. I mean, this was the first time in my life that I was living away from my family, that I built friendships with folks I had never met before. And every time I was in y'all's home with Mark, I felt at home. I felt invited. I felt like I could absolutely be myself. And a lot of that had to do with the energy that he brought to every interaction that I ever had with him. I think he just genuinely enjoyed y'all, his family, and so we were an extension of that, and so we were family in that space, and that is something that I just deeply, deeply appreciate about him.
Well, thank you to Joni and to Kim for thinking of this idea. And I've been watching a few of their videos and was watching Christina's video. And in particular, what I liked about what Christina shared was that Mark was so unapologetically himself, which made it, I think, really easy to be around him. And I think I don't have a lot of Mark memories, but one in particular was the infamous Thanksgiving. And we were over at the family friend's house, and I don't even know what. Oh, I had ruined the gravy. I don't know if anybody remembers that. I mean, let's be clear. I was there and was held responsible for ruining the gravy, but I think the gravy was already ruined by the time I was kind of intervening and trying to help. And so I think Mark was trying, like, saved it in some way. I don't even know. But the entire rest of the evening, and definitely at dinner, he just kept beating a dead horse. He was very enthusiastic about reminding me and everyone at the dinner that not only did I ruin the gravy, but that the new gravy that was made was terrible. So that's the one fun memory that I have of him. And so I just hope that you all know that I'm thinking of you and I'm holding you close in my hearts during this time. And I hope I get to see all of your lovely faces soon. Have a great night.
Hi, Jess and Trevor and Sarah. So, one of the first times I really remember talking to Mark was when I drove up to Big Bear and got there so late. I got there at like 2 a.m. And Mark was up or maybe he had just woken up or was napping or something. But anyways, he came out to meet me. He greeted me. He welcomed me. And he was just really sweet. I remember just wanting to make sure that I got settled and got comfortable. And then, after that, I got to know Mark on Thanksgivings mostly. And it was really nice. I mean, he was just genuinely interested in my life, and he cared about my health stuff, and he seemed to be really interested in like my giant overhauls that I was doing, and he was really he even seemed to be kind of inspired by it. And so yeah, I don't know, I just remember him like being really thoughtful around that and caring and interested in talking to me as like a person, rather than like, I don't know, like maybe I thought he would see Jess as friends as kids or something, but yeah, I just thought it was cool the way he actually like wanted to be around us and was interested in I don't know, my life and how it was going, you know? And I just feel like I'm not being very eloquent at all. He was just a person with a lot of kindness about him, and he definitely showed me that kindness, and I'm grateful that I got to know him.